All right, your quick introduction to what is new in music. So, the classical era, of course, we use the term classical to refer to sort of all of this kind of composed music from the Middle Ages to even my music today, although we often use the term art music for what I compose. Most people would call it classical music. It's not folk music, it's not pop music, and it's not jazz. Okay, so society had been changing in the age of the Enlightenment, and when society changes, music and the arts change as well. So the center of the music world wasn't in France, where the philosophy was the center, but in Vienna, Austria. They had a ruler, Emperor Joseph II, was a highly enlightened person. He sought freedom of the press. He sought, all kind of new ideas in terms of slavery being not right, and that slaves should have legal rights and things like this. So he was very enlightened, very progressive in his thinking for the day. So here in Vienna, there were new places to listen to music uh, that were going to develop. Okay, and we'll discuss this as we go along. My favorite invention of the classical era, of course, is the coffee house. So the idea of the coffee house comes out during this time period. Salons, or salons, if you don't want to do it French wise. And we're not talking about Peter's nails here. We're talking about the salon, as in like the living area of a wealthy person's house. And here, wealthy and notable people who were believed in the Enlightenment. These were wealthy people who were actually going against their own best interests by saying that they were privileged and they needed to address this. Okay, so it's a very dangerous idea. This idea of the Enlightenment. You had the 1% saying maybe we are the 1% and maybe we should weaken ourselves. Very dangerous thoughts, right? For the time. So the salon was this place where notable people would come and discuss and argue and debate the ideas of the day. They might perform new music, and talk about those ideas as well, and what's interesting in music and the arts and society and culture. Um, Today we might call that talking around the water cooler. Of course, the novel as a book, as an idea, as a genre, is sort of codified and comes out also during the age of the classical era. Okay? So again, the concept of chapters and this unified whole. And opera, which was opera seria, serious opera, becomes kind of replaced or added to by this notion of opera buffa, or comic opera. And we'll have a short video on that. And most important in the time period, really, in a way, is the invention of the concert hall. Okay, so the concert hall is invented in England, and spreads throughout. So now we have this new place to perform music. With the new venue, composers now have a new patron, a new person to give them money. It's not the church, it's not the court, right? Now they have the idea, and it's not the opera house, they have the ability to earn money from the audience. Right? The audience is now a patron. Of course, in order to do that, you have to write music that the people want to hear, which might not necessarily be exactly what you want to write. That's an idea we'll talk about in the Romantic era. Okay, so how does this come about? There's a rise in the middle class and a new love for being entertained. And entertainment was seen as an okay art form. People didn't look down on entertainment as being not classy or something like that. And so this interest creates this place for people to meet and be seen and to be entertained. That's the concert hall. And the concert hall gives rise to the new house band of the day, the classical orchestra. All right, so with vocal music being played in the opera houses and throughout the churches, the concert hall allows us to focus on the performance of instrumental music. So instrumental music begins to rise in the level of importance to equal and perhaps begin to surpass that of vocal music. Okay? With this new venue, the concert hall, and this new house band, the concert hall almost requires a new large-scale genre, akin to a novel, for music to be played in. So we have this new venue, we have a new band, but we don't have a new thing that'll last a long enough time to be entertained. A 10-minute Netflix special is not going to be as well watched as a 30-minute one, right? You want to invest your time and your money wisely. And so this new genre that's born with the creation of the concert hall is the symphony. So now this new house band, the classical orchestra, can play a large work of music in a new form that they can teach the audience to. So stay tuned for the intro to the symphony a little bit later in another video. But the concert hall is really, really key to the rise of instrumental music in Western Europe. And ignore the dog. Please. I can't. I'm a cat person.